right, but anybody know who we're drawing in here today? No. Oogie Boogie, yeah, exactly. So, spooky season over here, fantastic. We're leaning all the way into that. So when drawing Oogie Boogie, though, I want to remind you that this is a rough sketching course, which simply means that we don't give you erasers in here. If you didn't notice that before, don't worry. Take a look down, deep breath in, deep breath out, you're okay. It's fine.
Oogie Boogie.
I can sweat off. I know it's hot out there, and it's not from nerves, but wipe it off. No drawings or anything in there, so just shake out your shoulders, shake out your tension. It's not about that. There's no pressure. It's all good. This is about having fun. That's why you're here at Disneyland, right? Yeah. Right, okay. All right, so we're starting out with a circle. I'm locking my wrist, and I'm sketching this on in, just going around and around, building this down onto my paper. Right? It's not a perfect circle, and you know, like, there's that line. What's that line doing? I don't know. But I see a circle, I have a circle. It's good. I can work with that. This is really just about being a placeholder. It's not about getting that perfect circle line down right away. Now, we're going to add in construction lines to help us place all of Oogie Boogie's facial features. This first construction line is going to go from top to bottom, but it's going to curve out towards the left. Now our next construction line, this one's going to go from side to side, but it's going to rest in the lower part of our circle, so very low near the bottom. Just curve that downwards, like a stretched out letter U. Believe it or not, that's all the foundation that you need for Oogie Boogie. I know, it's a weird beach ball, looks like nothing, right? But that's totally fine, we can work with this. So we're going to start adding in Oogie Boogie's eyes, his expression. So we're starting out on this construction line. We already have it divided into sections. That's great because one eye goes on either half of that ball. So we'll start out on the left, and I'm going to start by basically adding in an Incredicoaster drop from the upper half of that circle all the way down almost towards the exact center that I've created with those construction lines. So we're just creating that nice curve there. We're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side of our circle. I'm going to make this one a bit bigger and going the opposing way. So maybe it's like a cursive letter S. And this is because in the perspective that we're pushing in, it means that we're going to see a little bit of this right eye a bit more. So that's why this one's going to be a bit bigger than the left one. All right, and then with those in place, we're going to add in like a backwards letter J shape is a good way to describe it, to the bottom of those curves. So from that upper part all the way over until you reach the very bottom. And then do the same thing just on the other side. And there you go. Now with those in place, if you want some extra credit, you can go on into those eyes and give them a nice even gray tone. Just shade them on in with your pencil. And what this does is it pushes that contrast, it adds some nice clarity to your drawing, but little bonus points, it covers up any sketch lines that you don't want to keep. So it's like an artist's little life hack. And there you go. Alright, but we have those eyes in place. We really want to push his expression forward with his eyebrows. And since he is basically a potato sack, his eyebrows form into one part of his body, really. So we're just adding in all these folds here. And we're going to use these eyes to help us guide these eyebrows. So starting on the left with that first eye that we sketched on in, off again to the left, what I'm doing is I'm adding in the harsh letter J curve. That's lining up exactly with the left of that eye there. It's about the same height as it if you're looking for a good reference point. And I'll do the same thing just on the other side with the other eye. Again, making it just as tall as the eye itself, but adding in a harsh curve there. It's almost doing like a U-turn there. And then from there, I'm following the shape of the eyes and using some blocky curves in order to build these on in. So I'll bring in 2 more curves from the top of those letter J's. And then I'll pull those all downward, just again, forming in those eyebrows. And you can add in any blocky curves that you'd like. Just follow the shape of the eyebrows. That's a really, really good just point here. There's no right or wrong way. Just follow the shape of the eyes. And we can start to see those eyebrows forming in place. And now from those letter J's, this is where we're going to start forming an Oogie Boogie smile. We're not going to go for it right away, though, because, again, he's a potato sack. It's a very organic shape, and if we just kind of sat there and drew out the wiggles, it'd be kind of interesting, but, you know. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves a good guideline in order to just start sketching this smile. So very, very lightly, from both of those letter J's, I'm going to bring over this giant smile from each letter J. Just very, very lightly. And that's about where I want to follow with my next few steps, which is very, very simple. From those letter J's, I'm going to start blocking in this little wiggly curve. all the way over that smile. And again, you don't have to follow me at this point. Just add in a bunch of these little letter U's and upside down letter U's. It's almost like the end of the Incredicoaster when Jack is like multiplying, when you're just like, woo! You're like weightless for that second here. That's what you're going for. So just go ahead and draw in those little curves and then lock that on down. And you may notice that as I've been going on through my sketch lines, the parts that I want to keep, I'm darkening up those lines, going a bit heavier with my hand until they stand out from all those sketch lines. You can do that too, just follow along. However, you are also welcome to wait until the very end to lock in your lines, until the end of your drawing, when you're more confident with those shapes, because that's okay. We're all learning. This is a learning process. Now we want to show that there's some curvature there. Like Oogie Boogie, he started out as a stop motion character, and that means that he actually exists as a figurine, so he exists in a three-dimensional space. We want to give some of that quality to our drawing as well. So along this lip, what we're going to do is we're going to add in these little lines, basically curves that are following the curve of his lips. So just along that point, I'm adding these on in. And then once I hit about where that construction line is, the one that went from top to bottom, remember, this is where I'm going to start curving it in the opposite way, because in that perspective that we're talking about, I'm going to be curving in the opposite way. And there you go. Now, if you want to draw in a closed mouth Oogie Boogie smile, that's totally fine. It's really cool, and he'll just look just as creepy. But I like to give him a great big open mouth smile. Kind of like when you walk into this park and you see Oogie Boogie just looming over you as you enter on in for the Halloween season. That's what we're going to be drawing him like. So I'm going to, again, add in another letter U, just very, very lightly, from that other one. And then you probably guessed it again. It's the exact same steps. We're adding in another great big curve just from that point along that letter U that we already sketched in. I know, he looks really creepy, right? And there you go. Just go ahead and follow that on in, lock that on down. But of course, since this is lower lip, we're going to see a bit more of it as well. So I'm going to just follow those exact same curves one more time once I have this all locked down. Just starting out from that same point, we're following our studied line. And this is what artists do. Basically, they take that exact same shape that they already have somewhere on their paper, and they copy it one more time. So in this case, it's that first curve that we added in for that lower lip, and repeating it one more time. Just a little bit lower. Now, just like you did with that upper lip, we're going to add in those curves again. This time just going the opposite way. These ones curving downwards. So just add in as many or as few as you want. The more that you add on in, the more sinister he's going to look and the more detailed. So you can add as many in as you want. That's totally fine. Now once you've done that, go ahead and shade in the inside of his mouth too. Again, you don't have to do this, or you can wait until the very end to do this, but it just adds in that nice bit of contrast and covers up sketch lines that you don't want to keep. There you go. Alright, while we're all the way down here, let's go ahead and block in his shoulders. And these are just kind of stretching out towards either side. He's got very broad shoulders, and he's an evil villain, so he likes doing that weird cackling thing where he keeps his shoulders all the way up to his ears. So we're going to do that too with our drawing of Oogie Boogie, really push that cartoony aspect of him. So just on either side, I'm going to bring over his shoulders. And lucky for us, these are pretty simple. It's just a small curve, almost like a hill, just coming out from either side of his face. You can add some variety in that shape. Again, he is basically a burlap sack, so there's not really any rhyme or reason to him. You can add in as much form as you want. But we have his shoulders in there. Let's go ahead and close off the top of his head. How are we all doing so far, though? Real quick check-in. Pretty good? Fantastic? Again, he's a potato sack. There's no way to go wrong with this. You're totally fine. You're hanging in there. Even if you're in the back and you're just like, I should have gone and Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh no, it was 15 minutes in the air conditioning. I thought it was fine. Yeah, still okay. We're all with you there. You're fine. But we're halfway through. Let's keep on chugging on through. We just have to close off the top of his head from this point and add in that little pointy curve at the very top. So, first thing that I'm going to do is on my circle, I have this little half curve that I'm just going to bring up. If you want a good reference point to stop at, lock it all in up until you reach that halfway point on your circle where that line was. Now on the opposite side, again, where that circle meets the eyebrow, this is where I'm going to start kind of pushing away from the top. So I'm bringing up this half curve from that eyebrow. And then, going out over the left of his head, I'm bringing over another curve. I like ending this about level with the left side of his head there. And then I'll just pull that down, almost like a stretched out letter U. And then I'm going to create basically a little triangle tip to his head, almost like a Santa hat. I mean, it's pretty accurate. He wants to be Santa Claus. He's already got that going for him. And then I'll just bring that back down to the top of that circle. And there you go. Now the last final few steps that we need for our drawing of Oogie Boogie are basically just little general details. Again, like we've been saying, he's a potato sack. So we want to add in all this hatching and this stitching. So like at the very top of his head here, I like to add in a nice great big stitch line that just locks into the top of his head there. And you can add in these tiny little stitches every which way that you want. Maybe like cross them in half. You can pair them up, leave them single. It's totally fine. Just follow the form of your drawing. And then I like having these along the shoulders as well. You can really add these anywhere that you want though. It's totally up to you. It is your drawing. There's no rhyme or reason here. And then just on the other shoulder if you want. And add in more stitch marks. Now, funny enough, Oogie Boogie wasn't actually a starter character for The Nightmare Before Christmas when the concept first was invoked. Tim Burton wrote a poem that only had 3 starring characters. Anybody know who those 3 starring characters would be? Jack, of course. Sandy Claus, I heard that? Yes. I'm like, one more. Yes, zero, yes, we all got it. The dog, 0, exactly. So 3 characters, and then when they decided to make this into a movie, they were just like, I think we need a bit more than that, you guys. Gotta fill up screen time. And they were right. And that's how we got the iconic Oogie Boogie as well. So, alright, we have some more like cross hatching here if you want. Basically it's like a checkerboard, so you can add these in. Again, not necessary, but if you want to add some more texture and flavor to your drawing, have a party. And there you go. Maybe a Halloween party. It's fine. All right, and then once you have that all in place, go back in, lock in any parts of your drawing that need locking in, add in some extra credit if you want, add in a background, add in some bugs. I don't know. Have fun with it. It is your own drawing, so you can add in any details that you want to make it your very own. It's all within the realm of possibility. But once you're all finished with everything, go ahead and find a good place on your page to sign your name, big and proud. Give it a nice big flourish, because you have just finished drawing your very own sketch of Oogie Boogie in about 15 minutes, just like a pro. All right, how do we all do? Good? Woos! Oh my gosh, I love it. That's like all the way up, and we're already applauding ourselves. Love that energy. Okay, I'd love to see how these all turned out, though, before we go ahead and say goodbye. So on the count of 3, let's turn around our drawing board, show these all off, have a great big art show. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's see all these Oogie Boogies out here. These are wonderful. Oh my gosh, look at all these. You took up a great big amount of space. I love it. Just like this present fills the room. Oh my gosh, all that extra.
See yours, Mommy.
Look at you. I love it. Fantastic drawing over here.
Oh, let me see yours.
Rough sketching. Middle row's fantastic job.
Whoa.
I love it. Over here too, really abstract, fantastic. We've run in our own sketchbooks. Look at you. I love it. You're just going that extra mile. And back rows, how do we all do over here? Fantastic job. I can see these all the way from over here. As we all know, side challenge. These are wonderful. Give yourselves a great big round of applause, everybody. Get past the class for flying rollers. Truly wonderful job over here. All right, take your drawings off your books because those are yours.